Hello and welcome to Retrotainment Recast. And yes, this is the full Recast crew are here with us today. And that is because I have defeated the three lads over the last couple of weeks.
Makes a change.
Soundly.
It does. It makes a change after I got severely destroyed for about 10 weeks in a row. But I've beaten the three lads the last 3 weeks in a row. 4 wins on the trot for myself. And this means we're in a triple threat situation. So the lads have to fight out with each other to see who goes against me next. So I am the judge this week. And we have Dodgeball. How are you getting on, lads? How did you find this recast?
Awesome.
Rewatching the film, great. Recasting, quite tough, because back in like the early 2000s and the 90s, you had comedy guys. You know, you had your Robin Williams, you had your Jim Carreys, then you had the Vince Vaughn's, Owen Wilson's. Not so much of a thing. Like, and this is always a thing in cinema. There's peaks and troughs, where you have something that's at the height. And at the moment, kind of action sci-fis are at their height. Horrors are on the rise to be on their height again.
And it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
Comedies are kind of on the lower end of, like, I don't know the last really good comedy that came out. There's been decent comedies, but nothing that I'd be like, that's, top tier. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's a very fair point. I actually can't remember the last really good one I've seen.
Yeah.
Is it Blockers?
Blockers was good. No, that was very good.
Blockers was good. Tag was quite good. Is it Tag? Yeah, Tag, isn't it?
Tag was very good. Yeah, Game Night was pretty good as well.
Game Night's pretty good, but again, they're not full-on comedies either. Blockers kind of is, but again, even in Blockers, it's not. None of those actors are straight-up comedy actors either. Do you know what I mean?
Bar Leslie Man.
Yeah, Bar Leslie Man. But like everyone else is kind of, they've done other types of films, and that you wouldn't pigeonhole them as a comedy actor the way you would have Vince Vaughn back in the early 2000s, Owen Wilson.
Yeah, this is true.
You know what I mean? So that was tough to find people like that.
But as well as that, though, I think you're getting actors who wouldn't have been in the comedy genre trying their hand at comedy, and a lot of them work out kind of well, because they're that good at acting, and maybe that is because there's a shortage of really good comedy actors now.
Yeah, like you used to get all your comedy actors from comedians. Yeah, but comedians are kind of making a lot of money now off their own comedy tours. And off panel shows and stuff, like Taskmaster is a huge panel show at the moment, and comedians are lining up to do that. Now I don't know how much you get paid, but that's 5 or 6 weeks of it or whatever of recording, and then that's it, and then they're on to the next thing. So waiting for the next big comedy, because that's what I'm looking forward to. I want another huge comedy to come out.
Yeah.
Once it's not starring Will Ferrell, I'll be happy.
I knew you was going to say that, because I was going to say, what about Anchorman?
Even Anchorman's still early 2000s, though.
Yeah.
It's 2004, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The second one was pure shite.
Oh, the second one was terrible, yeah. But,
First one is gold. It really
the first one is very, very, very good. It's top tier.
Well, speaking of top tier, Dodgeball is definitely on the top tier of comedies.
Yes, it is.
Brilliant.
So we have 10 people to recast in this, and different from the triple threats, we're going to start off and with the 10 in mind to recast. So lads, if you all want to send in your picks.
You want dick pics? Carl just confirmed he wants dick pics.
Woo!
I have them already.
His number will be up at the end of the show if everyone would like to send them to him.
And that's them all in there now. So we will start off with the last champ. That's King.
Me?
No.
Oh, no, sorry, Ted.
Greg.
Apologies.
Greg's the last champ. Greg's the last
You're
champ.
You're the last champ.
You're the last champ.
Was I the last champ?
No, King was, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, I was. Yeah, I was, yeah.
King was, yeah. Carl Sherlock
yes,
beat
I'm
King.
sorry. I beat King, and Ted, you beat Greg, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm well aware I'm the longest reigning that doesn't have a title at the minute.
It doesn't matter. Just pick somebody to start with. Jesus.
You go ahead, King. You go ahead.
But
we're gonna start off with probably the smallest role in it, which is Michelle.
Michelle. Okay, well you say small, but he's not fucking small at all.
He's not
he
small
is
at
a
all,
monster.
Of course. Yes.
And again, I was telling the lads off camera, I didn't do an awful lot of backups on this episode because yeah. So I went with Terry Crews because I know he is funny, but he can be very serious as well. Plus, he has the size.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Ted.
I went very similar to King on this at the start. I had Terry Crews down, and then I said to myself, when this was cast, it was a former NFL guy who had, I don't know if he ever made it in the NFL, but he was a former American rugby or American football player, and then he moved into acting. So I wanted somebody that kind of done something different and then was kind of moving into acting. Again, it's someone not as physically tall as Michelle was, but a big, intimidating guy as well. And I went with Big E, who at the moment has done a lot of acting in the voice acting world. But
that's where you should stay.
But we've seen what he can do on screen as well. You know, like he can be a big, intimidating guy. He can be a goofy idiot. He has it there. You know, he's got all that charisma in the world.
Yeah. And Greg.
I had Terry Crews. Only name.
Yeah.
It's a simple pick, and it's the right pick.
I went with Winston Duke.
Big guy.
It's good show.
Big guy, and he's funny. We haven't seen a lot of him, really. We've seen him in the two Black Panther movies and in Us. I haven't really seen him in anything else.
He was pretty good in that one with Mark Wahlberg. The one with the car where they're living on in an apartment block. I can't remember the name of it. It came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. It was very good in that.
Yeah, I like him, and I think he's very funny, especially in Black Panther.
He's very funny. He's a good comedy relief guy in Black Panther, to be fair.
And he's big.
Mm.
He is very big.
He is very big.
Big old hoss, all right, yeah.
I'm gonna have to give that one to Ted.
Oh,
fuck off!
Oh,
that's
thank
crazy.
God, my big risk paid off.
The man's never been in a movie. Fuck off!
That's crazy. That is crazy.
No, that's a load of bollocks.
Yeah,
that one
sorry.
is.
I think Terry Crews is too big of a name for such a small role.
Yeah, look at him what he took when he took fucking in Blended. He took a little Jamaican side role. There's no way you can say. There's no way you can say it's too big of a role or too big of a name for that role.
It's different. Many people do small cameos.
You're actually talking about taking someone that's never been in a professional movie. Not a chance.
But it's
not a fucking chance.
Do you think Michelle was in?
Michelle what?
Do you think he was in fucking a million films before he was in Dodgeball? Do you?
No. Big E's not. No.
Are you saying you think Michelle, the guy who originally played Michelle,
Jamal Duff went on to be an actor? He left the NFL to be an actor.
And Big E may very well have to retire. He may very well have to retire.
I couldn't care less if he has to retire.
He may very well.
Costing us a point.
That's a fucking shocking pick.
He might have.
That's actually probably one of the worst picks that's come out since Brock
Lesnar. He's moved himself into the world of acting, whether it's on a TV voice acting. He's already making connections there.
No.
Good man, Sherlock. Good way to start the off, yeah.
Yeesh.
I'm glad I moved away from Terry Crews because I thought the same thing. He's a bit too big a name for that at this point.
But let's see what the fans think on that one, will we? Anyway, let's see what they think on if I got that completely wrong or not.
No, you didn't. You got it completely right.
No, you got it wrong.
We're going to continue on here, and Ted, you can start off on this one, and we're going with Dwight.
Dwight. Now, this is the one I said to you boys before that I was really happy with. I originally had Donald Glover in here, and I was kind of thinking I do like Donald Glover, but I don't know that he fits into this particular role all that well. So I went with somebody who hasn't been in films and on a particular storyline based TV show in quite a while, but someone who has done it in the past and has remained on TV the entire time. I went with Kenan Thompson, who's been on SNL for the last 10 years, maybe. So
I think it's 15 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like he's been on it big time, you know, and originally he was in obviously Keenan and Kel and stuff like that when he was younger. I think he
has his own sitcom now.
Yeah, I think he kind of fits
on a plane too.
Yeah, I think he kind of fits that, you know, sidekick kind of character. I know in Keenan and Kel he's kind of the leader in that, but I think he can fit into that sidekick kind of character where he's like, you know, just a bit of a joker with Peter LaFleur.
Fair. Greg?
I went with Kevin Hart here, the comedy relief.
They all reliable.
Not really.
Okay, and King?
Now, you might notice what I did. While you were talking, I was just going through my list again, and I realized I had put down Terry Crews on the rewritten list by mistake. So what I did was I took a snap of the previous one that I had done, just so you could all see that I wasn't cheating.
That's cheating.
No, it's not. I didn't change it.
Default.
I put down Michael B. Jordan. Anyway, he's not going to win this one, so don't worry about it.
Oh no, I don't think Michael B. Jordan's going to win this.
That was the one role that I couldn't really kind of get me, pick on. And I was actually saying, well, I go with Kevin Hart because that's the way the lads normally go. You know what I mean? So I just said, fuck it.
Kevin Hart is way too big for that, and so is Michael B. Jordan. By default, I'm giving that to Kenan Thompson.
I think Kenan Thompson fits into that very well.
He does. I'm actually I do like that pick for Kenan.
It's a good pick, but you can't turn around and say Kevin Hart's too big. He takes random roles. Kevin
Hart is one of the biggest comedians. He's not taking the 8th or the 9th biggest role in a movie.
No, Kenan Thompson's a good pick. It is, actually. I didn't even think of him.
Kenan's a great pick.
He came to me today while I was writing out my list because I had, as I said, I had Donald Glover and I wasn't happy with it at all.
Mm.
And then while I was writing out the list, I was like, fucking Kenan Thompson. I was like, that's it. It has to be.
Yeah.
I got someone who I'm pretty happy with there myself. I had Anthony Anderson.
Oh, Angry Anderson, huh?
I'm pretty happy with Anthony Anderson in that role.
That's a pretty good one now. I will. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Probably the first time you used as well, is it?
I think that.
No, I tried
to use him before.
Times.
Yeah,
and I've never won with him, so I kind of stopped using him.
you still haven't won with him.
No,
this is true.
That is a good one, though. It's not Kenan Thompson, but it's pretty good.
Next, I suppose we'll move on to Gordon.
Ah, yes.
So, Greg, where are we with Gordon? Who did you put down?
I went with Paul Walter Hauser here.
Okay. I kind of expected people to go in.
Yeah. Good comedy relief. He also doesn't look 36.
No, he has a baby face.
I wouldn't say he has a baby face. I know Gordon was 53 doing it, but there's nothing to say his age in this.
Oh no, of course. King?
A lazy pick. Probably won't win it because that Greg pick was actually a good show. Again, didn't even think of it. Really didn't think of it. I just went with Steve Carell. Probably too big. I don't know.
Not for Gordon.
I think he'd fit. I think he'd fit that perfect. You know.
Ted?
This is one of the few I had a lot of names bouncing around for originally. I had Bryan Cranston at one point. Jack Black, but again, Jack Black's character doesn't fit there. But I settled on an old favorite that hasn't come up in a while in Jolo Trigolo. The reason I went with that. No, the reason I went with that is because there's, Gordon's whole thing is that he's into this weird, obscure stuff. And he doesn't see things that are in front of him that everyone else sees. Everyone else sees that his mail order bride has no love for him, but he's like blind to that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep a certain kind of age range on that because we know he's on his second marriage and he has 2 kids from his first marriage. So I wanted him to be at least kind of aged up a little bit to be the older guy on the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of beaten down as well. Which does work to what Greg was saying. Like Paul Walter Hauser does play the beaten down character very well. Just possibly a bit too young to have had 2 kids that are kind of meant to be kind of.
Oh, the first kids that you see with the bride, he's only about 6 or 7.
Yeah, one kid's 6 and the other kid's maybe 7 or 8, but that's from his first marriage. Do you know what I mean? So that's 8 years ago that he got married.
The running joke there is he buys her, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it means
you could be divorced and married again in a month.
You could, but he has the kids from the first marriage as well. You have to remember that.
My backup for this one was James Corden.
Oh, what an asshole! He's I know. He's in the bad books at the moment.
Why is he in the bad books?
For being an asshole in a restaurant,
isn't he? Yeah,
he was shit in a restaurant.
Genuinely, up until about 2 hours, he was my pick. And about 2 hours ago, I was sitting there watching the Brazil match and I was trying to think, going through all my picks again. And
Neymar Jr.
Ronaldo.
Cafu.
And you're running away with it. I had Joe the Druglo.
Yes.
And I can show you that here. It's written down if you can read it. Don't know if it's coming through.
Yeah, I can see it there, yeah. I think James Corden's a good one if he wasn't in such of a big bad books moment at this time.
Yeah. Jesus, Ted. Nice 3-0 lead to start off.
Oh, it's a big lead to lose.
It could happen. It
can happen. It's happened.
Has anyone lost a 3-0
lead? Well, you lost 2-0 in a set.
I lost 2.
In a best of 7.
2-0 and I went 3-1.
Yeah, but that was in a best of 7. Yeah. So this is a best of 10. So it's probably about similar to that.
Yeah. Lads, you need to catch up.
Or you just actually stop picking shit picks. Like Big E.
Jolo is a brilliant pick.
That one's not bad. Big E was a terrible pick.
Keenan Thompson is a brilliant pick.
Yeah, in fairness, those 2 picks were good picks.
And Big E was a terrible pick.
Big E's a better pick than Terry Crews because Terry
absolutely
Crews is too big a star to take that role anymore.
Oh, no way. Terry would take that. He'd take that.
Not anymore.
Next, we'll move on to, I think we'll do Owen. I'm actually really happy with this pick for me.
Back to me, is it?
Yeah, back to
you. Yes.
Yeah, I went with Michael Cera. I think he'd be okay at that.
Yeah.
You can clock that up as a draw to me. Michael Cera fits into there perfectly as the downtrodden loser, but also not high school because we know that he worked with Dwight previously in the airport, so he had to be that little bit older than Justin.
What about yourself, Greg?
I went with Pete Davidson.
A backup that I had at one point, Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he fits that awkward role so well. So well.
Right. I went with someone that has not been used in Retrotainment before.
Oh.
And I think he suits this fucking brilliantly. Kevin Sussman, better known as Stewart in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A bit old, is he?
A bit old, though. Yeah, he's in his 50s now, isn't he?
I'm changing his age a little bit.
He looks very young though. He's a young 50-year-old.
He's 50, yeah.
Oh, I don't know that he is a young 50-year-old anymore.
No, he's not.
How is he not?
No. He would be a good pick if he wasn't 50, and looking 50.
I have to give that one to Michael Cera.
Yay!
Oh yes, 4-1 nothing. Two more should end this for me now.
There's
2 more. 2 more bring me to 6. So that's
6 left.
2, 3, 4, 5 left.
There should be 6 left.
Is there 6 left? Hang on.
Yeah, there's 6 left. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying 2 more should, because 2 more.
Two more will do it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
6, sorry, yes, 6.
Unless you get 2 more draws.
2 more draws.
Yeah, 2 more draws could cause issue, but
yeah, this is true. So we have, who do we have left? We have Kate, White, Patches, Peter, Steve, and Justin. So we kind of really have to go with Steve the Pirate here, don't we?
I think so, yeah.
So
this one was really tough.
This one was difficult, yeah.
Because you're taking an actor who's been, you know, a kind of side actor in so many films. Like, what a huge name, but never the star. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is probably the one that I'm probably least happy with, because I couldn't match someone to it. So I went with someone who's become. I actually had Pete Davidson as a backup here as well, but I don't know if he'd play that pirate gimmick very well.
No. I'd hate to see him in that pirate gimmick.
Yeah, I don't think he'd fit the pirate gimmick. And I don't know that the person I've gone with will fit it all that well either. But he's starting to become a bit of a rising star, and this could be the sort of role that could help him on a breakout. I went with Jack Whitehall because he's not afraid to make a fool of himself, you know, and be just the foolish kind of side character. He's not afraid to do that. And then, you know, then cut his hair short, but then still be a pirate at the end of it as well.
Sure.
But Alan Tudyk was just perfect for this. Like,
he was. He was.
Tudyk's just a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, it's too hard to replace a guy like that. I nearly wanted to just put him back in again, to be honest.
Yeah, I almost did. We've never done it before, but I almost did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the rules that you can't do it.
I know.
You can't cast the same person in the same role.
I know, yeah, and that's why I didn't. But I was nearly just like, I might just put him back there. He's too perfect.
You should have.
Yeah.
Oh, just for the crack, I went for a good character actor. I went with Bill Hader here.
That's a good one.
Okay.
He's a phenomenal actor, and he'll buy into any role. Like his role, he pretty much stole the show in It Part 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
He pretty much steals most shows nowadays.
He's the fastest kid alive.
and the fact that he's only 44 years of age.
Yeah.
He seems to have been around forever.
Yeah, that's true, very true. And he's looked like his mid-40s for 20 years.
He has. He's always looked like that.
He won't get any older now, though, lads.
That's it. Yeah, he's done. He's done.
So I went with someone who was a little bit shorter in stature. I went with Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Good show.
Yeah, I like Charlie Day.
Yeah, it's good shout, yeah.
Who did I go with here? Myself. I went with someone, and I was kind of really picturing someone who he could do the pirate role, but then the really innocent look when he comes back into the room with his head, the clean cut shaven and all that type of stuff. And it's someone I know we've used maybe once or twice, but I think it's a pretty good pick. I went with Ashton Kutcher.
I think I tried to use Kutcher before.
I think it's pretty good.
I think he'd have to be a bit quirkier, I think.
Too much of a pretty boy.
Fucking huge.
Too much of a pretty boy as well, I think.
Fair. I don't like Jack Whitehall for the role. So just Ted, your streak is over.
As I said, I wasn't happy with this one. It was too hard to pick someone to. I just went with someone close to the age of Alan was when he played this. This one was too difficult, really. Couldn't think of where to go with it.
Bill Hader.
Yeah, Bill Hader's a decent show. I can't be.
He's probably the best character actor out of them three, anyway.
Yeah. I wish I'd thought to age up a little bit, because Bill Hader is really good show.
It was legitimately one of the first names that came to my mind. I was like, who's going to play a pirate? I was like, yeah, there it is.
I think I got too stuck on the age and was trying to think someone around there. But
I was thinking Rainn Wilson as well, and I was like, no, maybe
he's definitely too old. I think he'd be good a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
When he done that super film.
Even when he was in The Office, like, just the idea that like he would play that kind of quirky, weird character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
5 down, 5 to go. 4-1-1.
Mm.
So we really have to go with Patches here, don't we?
Patches O'Houlihan.
What
about Justin? What about Justin?
Dive, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Justin or Patches?
Justin, I'd say be next.
Really, Justin is kind of more the heart of it, isn't he?
Well, George, you pick.
He's the one that leaves.
Yeah.
He's the one that
leads. Like, so Patches.
Old Patches, as we did agree. Old Patches, yeah.
Yeah, old Patches.
Patches.
Yeah. Young Patches is only in it for about 30 seconds. Like that guy. Is it me here first on this one, or?
No, it's not. You went first last, so it's Greg.
Yeah, so it's Greg here.
So I had a couple of names I threw around. Wasn't really happy with any of them. I had Jeff Bridges. I was like, maybe not. Bit serious. Then I had John Goodman. Obviously, he came up in a previous episode, and I was like, can't see him doing it.
I don't know if he's an asshole enough, is he?
John Goodman. John Goodman plays an asshole and everything.
You can play a good asshole.
Yeah, but like the drunken Patches who I don't know if I'd like him as Patches. Is all I'm saying.
And then I got the idea. I was watching a new series that came out on Netflix. I went with Bill Pullman here.
Bill Pullman.
An old favorite of yours, huh?
No, I haven't used Pullman much.
I don't think Pullman's been used all that much.
Oh, it's not. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with who I get mixed up with.
You're getting
Will Patton.
Will Patton.
Will Patton. I'm getting mixed up with
why did I pick Will Patton, lads? No, I went Bill Pullman, looking at him like when he's in The Sinner.
Yeah, he was very good in The Sinner. The first, I haven't watched anything past the first series of The Sinner, but he was very good.
The seasons get a little weaker, but he gets better and better.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard. So
and he has the beard and everything in it, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, he is. That's a good pick, to be fair.
King.
So I had a couple of backups. I had J.K. Simmons.
There was another name that I floated around.
I had Ed Harris.
Oh, he's a good pick.
But I went Hollywood, and with someone who I think would actually
he's gone Jack Black.
No, I went with Kurt Russell.
He's retired.
Fuck! Let's say he's not.
Nope, that's not the rules. You are out of this round.
I was similar to you, Greg. Here, I was batting a lot of names around. Some I was happy with, some not so. I tried to go with.
Look. Sorry, Ted. He's looking up to see if he's retired.
I know.
People's Trump.
One of the names I had was as a backup was Chevy Chase, old school comedy guy.
9 million years old.
He's not dead.
I'm pretty sure he's retired as well.
Retired.
I don't think he's retired. I think he's just not hired anymore because he's notoriously difficult to work.
Boy.
He's notoriously difficult. I had Jerome Flynn, who was obviously in Game of Thrones, but Carl wouldn't have known him. And also, I don't know if he's as big a name to take.
That's a really good shout. That might have actually that could have stolen my pick.
If Carl wasn't judge, I might have stuck with Jerome Flynn. But Carl's judging, and he hasn't watched Game of Thrones, so he doesn't know who Jerome Flynn is. Another backup I had was Jonathan Banks, who can play kind of an arsehole as well.
Mike.
But I settled on, and I thought Greg was going to say this name until he said Netflix series. And then I was like, okay, I don't think this guy's been in a Netflix series recently. Billy Bob Thornton, who can play that drunk fucking arsehole very well. Aggressive, mean, but also, still wants the people around him to succeed.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, before you make your decision.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up here. It says he's retiring. He's not retired.
He retired after Santa Claus 2 or whatever that was called.
Well, it's saying he's one more role in him.
Yeah, that was. But look at the date on that article. I looked this up for a previous episode. His Christmas Chronicles 2 was his last movie.
What a way to go out.
He's done a few little bits other than that. Like he did some voice work for the What If series and stuff in 2001.
Come on, couldn't you imagine him as Patches O'Houlihan? You could. Absolutely. The beard and the angriness. And he could play a drunk. You know,
them's be the rules, Carl.
But the retiredness.
And lads, just to put it out there, we also can no longer use fan favorite Gary Oldman.
I know.
I have to find someone new now, lads.
I was gonna try and fit him in here because he technically hasn't retired yet, just to get one more, just get him in once more. But there's nothing.
That would have been a good show.
Not for Patches.
No,
well, he could do.
I mean,
Patches,
he can do anything.
He can do anything, but I don't want him to be Patches. I don't want him to be Patches.
I had Billy Bob Thornton myself. Anyway,
I'm beginning to think this is a screw job here.
No,
you can't say Billy Bob Thornton's a bad pick there now, lads.
I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but you called out Billy Bob Thornton is not a name you'd float around for this role.
Do you want to know what? Do you want to know what got me to this?
Bad Santa.
Is it's coming up to Christmas, and one of my favorite Christmas films of all time is Bad Santa, and I was like, I'm gonna have to watch Bad Santa soon. It's coming up to Christmas time, and then I was like, that's who fits there, because it was only I think it was yesterday that I settled on Billy Bob Thornton, because I only came up with it when I was thinking about, I can't wait to watch Bad Santa again.
Oh, it's 1-5-1 with 4 picks to go. Ted, one more. Technically, you've already. If you lose the rest and one of the lads wins 4, it's a draw, and we don't know what the hell we're going to do then.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's a triple threat with the other lads.
No, I would say if that happens, what we would do is me versus whoever it is, and then the other person judges, and then the winner of that goes on to face you, and then we rotate from there.
Fair.
See, this is why we normally do the 7 with the 3 extras, Carl.
Hey, listen, you want to do 7? I've already got the win on the 7. I'm perfectly happy with that.
So we have Kate, White, Peter, and Justin left.
It's Justin next, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to go with Justin.
Back to
and it is King.
Back to King here.
I went with someone's backup earlier on. I think I went with Pete Davidson. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had Pete as a backup. Greg had him as his main character somewhere else. I struggled with this one because I wanted to stay that it's meant to be someone in kind of like high school, and they're meant to be kind of like a bit of a nerdy person that everyone kind of gives shit to, but they're trying to get into the sport of gymnastics, which Patches gives them a bit of a or sorry, Peter's like, wait, you want to join gymnastics to not be made fun of, or the cheerleading to not be made fun of. Again, not super happy with this one, but I went with Caleb McLaughlin, or Lachlan, is it? Caleb Lachlan.
Caleb McLaughlin. Yeah.
Again, I think he can kind of fit into that nerdy role, but moving into being, a bit athletic, because we've seen that obviously in the latest Stranger Things, where he's moving into the basketball team, but still not a cool guy. You know what I mean? Still nerdy and everything like that.
Sure. Greg?
I went Stranger Things as well here. I went with Finn Wolfhard.
Back up on mine. I think you thought
he fits in straight into it.
He does. I think I just kind of went with, I wanted someone a little bit.
I think he fits into it better than McLaughlin does. Like, looking at him in Ghostbusters and stuff, the way he grows into it.
He's definitely a bigger name. I will give that Finn Wolfhard is a bigger name, and I did have him for a good while, if I'm honest. And I probably shouldn't have changed. I probably should have stuck with Finn.
You definitely shouldn't have changed, because I had Finn Wolfhard myself.
I kind of figured that, and I was just like, I might just try and change this a little bit.
I think even looking at the Stranger Things, I think even Noah Schrapp would have been a better pick than McLaughlin.
Yeah, I think it was just the idea of the person moving into being a more athletic build. Yeah. That
I could see why. I could see the reasoning in there.
Twisted, because
King, maybe Davidson 10 years ago is just the fact that he's still in high school.
Yeah, fair.
Would be the reason, but
and the fact that he kisses the high school girl, which means Pete Davidson goes to jail for being a pedo.
So
hypothetically, that is hypothetically.
Down to the final 3.
I need one. I need one. I just need one. A draw.
Greg, you need them all.
King needs 2. Or at least, I mean, to try and get into the next round rather than having to sit it out next week.
Yeah,
true. So we have to go with Kate, don't we? We can't go with Wyatt or Peter. So Kate.
It's me first on this one, is it?
It is.
Yeah, so...
And I'm just going to say, lads, none of you have who I picked because I went a bit left field on this one. So...
I had two names for a while. Emma Stone, who obviously can play, that sort of character as well. Isn't afraid to be kind of a bit quirky and stuff like that. The other, Awkwafina, the girl from Shang-Chi. I think she could do it quite well. Don't know that she's ready to take that leading sort of female role to that extent just yet. So I went with someone who plays the, prim and proper, quite young and naive, like with all the ponies and unicorns and stuff in her house, but also can play like someone that can look after themselves. I went with Alison Brie, who's an old favorite on this as well.
Didn't think of her, yeah. Greg?
I was actually watching something where they show people's houses, and this actress's house actually came up, and she has unicorns in it, which is kind of funny. I went to Blake Lively here.
Okay, yeah.
Fits into that role. She can play the serious role and then turn it funny.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad show.
And the fact that when I seen the thing and it's just like going around now, it might be the kid, I'm not sure, but there was loads of unicorns around the house, and I was like, I've seen this before somewhere.
Yeah, it's not a bad show.
Perfect. And King?
I went with Elizabeth Olsen, so she's probably a bit old for the role, but
there's nothing really to say the age because she works in a bank.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Elizabeth Olsen's.
I think she'd
be. They're all about the same age.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen's only in her 30s, isn't she?
Yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah, she looks a lot older though.
Now, if you said one of the other two Olsen twins, if you said one of the Olsen twins, I think you'd have been fucking out.
Yeah.
That's not even out of this episode. That's out of the show.
Oh yeah, out, just gone.
Carl has left the chat.
I had 2 here, and one that I'm happy with that I went with as my main pick because I'm the judge on this one. But one that I would have gone with because I know none of you guys would have chosen the person I chose myself. So the one that I went with I had chosen, and my mind's just gone blank because I didn't write it down. Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, that's decent. Oh,
that's a shout and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a decent one.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick I think would be great for the role. That's who I would have chosen if I was a contestant. But I went, and I think she'd do it really well, Lupita Nyong'o.
No. I don't see it.
I do. I think she has a bit of comedy about her, and she has the straight.
I haven't seen anything that's comedy that she's done.
It's more comedic bits in serious roles.
I'm trying to think of anything that she's kind of comedy in, and I can't really think of her.
She wouldn't be a comedic actress, but I've seen her in a couple of things. She was actually in a Liam Neeson movie, and she was a side character in it.
Is that Walk Amongst the Gravestone one?
No, it was stuck on an airplane. It was a bad movie.
I think it's more that I can't imagine her having a house full of unicorns.
Yeah, no.
She seems too badass for that.
Well, I said,
like,
yeah.
And maybe
Kendrick definitely.
Maybe I would have chosen if I was the contestant.
maybe she does have a house full of unicorns. I'm not saying that she can't. I'm not saying a badass woman can't love unicorns, but she just doesn't seem like the sort. She seems like she'd have her house full of fucking weaponry and shit to kick your ass.
This is true. I like Blake Lively for that.
Yeah, no, I was happy with Alison Brie, but Blake Lively is a good shout. Like, I can't.
Literally, I wouldn't have actually thought of it other than I seen something and there's loads of unicorns around her house, and I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, I was thinking Alison Brie from Community, and then obviously she can do the physical parts because she was in Glow as well. So I was like, she can do both parts that are needed. Like,
I like Alison Brie; she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Okay, down to the final two. The two leads. We have to go with White Goodman, don't we?
Yeah. I would have said no. I would have said Vince Vaughn here. Surely because White steals the absolute show.
Yeah, but Vince Vaughn's the hero, isn't he?
Vaughn is the
I know they are now making a sequel, which White Goodman is going to be the lead. Yeah.
Oh way.
Ben Stiller is going to be the lead. Like it's his redemption.
Ben Stiller just broke that he's going back to do these things.
I'd worry that I don't know how funny a Dodgeball 2 can be. I wouldn't have thought Dodgeball would be that funny, and it was fucking brilliant. So I'd be perfectly happy.
I can't imagine it's probably not going to be a Dodgeball movie though. You know that
comedy
kind of way.
Sequels don't work. Comedy sequels do not work.
I think they only work if they're
done. That's not entirely true.
I think they only work if they're done within a certain time frame. They need to be done relatively quickly. You can't wait 20 years to do a comedy.
We've seen that. Look at Anchorman, the biggest one. We were talking about it off screen.
Zoolander 2.
Yeah. Zoolander 2 was fucking horrendous.
Brutal as well.
Good man, Ben.
I'll still give a chance to a second Dodgeball because Ben Stiller doesn't tend to put out too much wrong. You know what I mean?
And White Goldman is one of his better characters that he's done.
Yeah. So Greg here, is this?
So this is Greg, yes.
Did I not go first there? No,
I did. I went first with Alison Brie there, yeah.
Right. I went a little bit outside now. I'm kind of raging because I'd fully thought I'd pick up points elsewhere. But I'm quite happy with it. So obviously Ben Stiller's was comedy. When this was starting to him hit, this was him hitting the height of his powers, really. So I've gone someone that's a good actor in good physical shape, can do comedy, and is out there because obviously White's like Ben Stiller's in good shape in this.
Oh yeah.
Apart from stuffing pizza down his jocks,
and pumping up his, you know what?
Yeah, but I went to someone who's done comedy movies, and he can play the bad guy, he can play the good guy, he can play the funny guy. I went with Jake Gyllenhaal here.
Okay. King?
Well, funny enough, Gyllenhaal was a consideration for me, but I was trying to think of, like, because I love how funny White Goldman is in this. I actually went with Andy Samberg from Brooklyn.
Nope.
He was a backup of mine.
For this role?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, I have him as a backup to LaFleur. I think he'd be closer to Peter LaFleur than he would be to. He's not in shape enough to be Goodman. I don't.
He could get in shape though.
He probably could, but I went for someone.
If I was putting him anywhere, I'd have put him down near Owen level. I wouldn't have had him. But just that kind of thing. I wouldn't have had him. I wouldn't have even considered him for the top two here.
I went somebody who is in shape now. Too good a shape probably for this role, but has played kind of the goofy characters and stuff. And he was a big fat boy well, not a big fat boy, but a relatively fat boy.
I know, yeah.
No.
Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt fits in there very well. He's got the comedy chops for it. He's not afraid to make a fool of himself where he's stuffing pizza down his jocks and having sex with it or whatever the fuck he was trying to do.
He was teasing himself.
I don't know if that's teasing himself.
He was edging, wasn't he?
That's the word, edging.
I don't know what he was doing, but even Michelle was freaked out by it. So, I went with Chris Pratt. He's a guy that's in shape that originally played a kind of chubbier character. So I could see him being willing to make fun of the fact that he was at one point chubby. He's now in shape and he's a bit of an asshole about it. And then he goes back to being chubby at the end of it. And he has the comedy. He does. He has comedy chops in him. Like, he really does.
Good actor.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going with Andy Samberg there.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm going with Andy Samberg there.
I had Andy Samberg as
Carl,
a backup to LaFleur.
What the fuck have you been smoking today before this? Big E and Andy Samberg.
No, Big E's a good one, but Andy Samberg is not.
No, Big E is not a good one. No way.
Big E wasn't. Of course you're saying Big E's a good one because you picked him.
And you won already, more or less.
No, Big E is a good one because he's a guy that may have to move into acting because his original career is over and he's not a huge name, which is what Michel was in this film. He was a guy. Jamal was not a guy that was a big Hollywood name, and he came in and he was brought in just for his sheer bulk. That's why I went with someone like Big E, because as I said, I had Terry Crews up until I was like too big a name.
If it was just one scene that Michel was in, I'd have gone with Terry Crews. But the fact that he's in multiple scenes and this is such a small role, he's just kind of in the background. Terry Crews is going to stand in the background for the whole film.
Exactly what he does in Blended. Exactly what he does.
Doesn't matter, Greg. We've lost the point anyway, Greg. Don't be worrying.
Yeah. So we go into the finale here with Peter LaFleur, the lead of the film. We'll start off with yourself again, King.
Yep.
Yeah. Doesn't matter at this stage. My backup was Jason Segel, and my main one was Ryan Reynolds.
Nope, don't like that.
Not the right kind of comedy for Ryan Reynolds.
I'd have put Ryan Reynolds closer to White.
To White, yeah.
No, I don't.
Reynolds is closer to White, yeah. Self-obsessed, arrogant. That's Ryan Reynolds.
Also, just on the Big E pick, your White Goodman is bigger than Big E. He's taller and everything than Big E.
Yeah, I know.
That's half the running joke that Michel is bigger.
Yeah, but that's never been a thing across these picks ever. We've never used that as because I've used arguments like that before, and people are like, "Oh yeah, but we've already done that," and then we don't match pick to pick.
So I get that, but he's bigger. He brings him in as a big unit. You're not going to bring someone in as a big unit that's smaller than you are.
Just bring in someone intimidating. You know what I mean?
Should just stand there yourself then.
Anyway, Ted, Peter, you're Peter for our pick.
As I said earlier, I had Andy Samberg as a backup here. Had Jonah Hill as a backup here, who I think could do it. You know, the kind of like, you know, you don't worry about it, guys. You don't need to try too hard. It's cool. We're all just kind of happy and chilled and all that. But I wanted to go with someone a little bit more serious, because you've kind of got this idea of like LaFleur is meant to be a bit of a ladies' man to an extent. Do you know what I mean?
He is.
No, well, he is, because that's the reason White hates him, is because he slept with a couple of his personal trainers and stuff, and he gets the girl at the end. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a charmer.
And her girl.
Well, we don't know that he gets her girl. He gets his girl. And as I say all that, this person probably doesn't really fit into that all that well, but he's a little bit more serious and he has a bit of comedy in him. I went with Andrew Garfield. Not super sold on that pick myself, but I was kind of trying to think of the type of character he is, you know, like a real wholesome. No, it's all right, guys. Come on, we can all accomplish this. And don't put too much strain on yourself. It's fine.
Don't like that pick. I don't like that pick at all.
Greg?
I went with Carl's backup. I had Jason Segel here. I think he's perfect. He has the same kind of look, same kind of stature, same kind of acting style. Except he actually came from a comedy roles where Vince Vaughn hadn't.
Vince Vaughn was in comedy.
Yeah, but
not before this.
Yeah, he was.
What did he do before this?
He started off in Swingers with Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, one thing before this, and he went into action. He went into action and tried to make his name in horror, then, and made a balls of that.
Raging, I didn't stick with Siegel, I have to say. When thinking about it now.
My backup was Chris O'Dowd.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
he's funny.
Yeah,
he is.
I don't know whether he's leading man material. But he's funny.
I think he's a different kind of funny. He's a more awkward funny, isn't he?
5 years, maybe 5-7 years ago, he had a big enough of a name to be the lead in this. But
that's when he made it into Thor 2, was it? Thor 3, one of them, the Dark Elves one.
He was in 2. He was in Thor 2. Yeah.
I think he's more of an awkward comedy, though, isn't he?
If that makes sense. No, Moonboy was fairly funny. It wasn't as much an awkward comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I mainly remember him from the likes of IT crowd and stuff, and he's the real awkward kind of comedy. He is good though.
I've never seen him in that.
Yeah, he's super. He's not the most awkward, but he is very awkward in it.
Yeah. But my pick was Jason Segel.
There we go. Yeah.
So it ends there, Ted. You get the victory 5-4 to 2.
No, that can't. Oh yeah, 5-4-2.
Yeah,
we drew a King on one. Yeah.
Thank
God, King. I'm happy that King won with Andy Samberg there, even though I don't think it was a good win, because otherwise it would have left me in a draw. Well, I don't know. Maybe Chris Pratt would have beaten what Greg's pick was. I don't know. I don't know which way you would have swayed there.
Which one would you have gone for?
Between
Pratt or Gyllenhaal?
Probably Gyllenhaal.
So it was a good thing that Andy Samberg won. I still agree with Greg. I don't think Samberg
it was the worst pick of the tree.
Yeah, I still don't think he fits in there, but
if you really want to be adventurous here, Ted, and off the top of 3 of your heads, if you want to put a pick in for the female on the Globo Gym team, and you can pick in the next 10 seconds if he's going to come up with a pick in your head, because I have a pick for that. If you want to do that real quick, and it'll be for 4 points here, so even King can win.
No, definitely go on that. It could be anybody.
No, because it could be fucking anybody. We'd just be making things up.
Go on. You like to gamble, Ted?
I do, but not on that, because I have a pick, but I don't know that Carl's going to know who it is.
I'm going to say Anne Hathaway. There you go. Because it's going to be Kate with makeup anyway.
Are you doing it? Are you doing it?
No, how the fuck are we going to do it? Because I'm going to say my one, and then...
Oh, I just threw it out there.
I have mine. I literally just wrote mine down.
Who did you put?
Kate McMillan. Is that her name?
Kate McMillan.
I'd have gone with Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, Jesus, that's who I
McKinnon. Sorry, not McMillan. McKinnon.
I would have gone with Gwendolyn Christie.
You would have got another 4 points.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, I'd have got her as well.
Big kick-ass bitch. Knock the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah, I don't see that either, though, because look at the person that it was the last time.
Yeah.
She was a real skinny, dainty person. They just buried her with makeup and clothes.
Yeah, she was meant to be intimidating.
It was just a fuck you to the person that done it, because she wasn't a bad looking girl either. She was just destroyed in
makeup.
Aesthetics or whatever, yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Ted.
I'd have beaten you anyway, even with that pick. So
yeah,
because that's the first name that came to my head was Brienne of Tarth, and I was like, will Sherlock know who that is? But then I remembered she's been in a couple of other things. Well. Yeah, I remembered she was in Star Wars then, and I was like, yeah, that'd work.
There's nothing more annoying than a cocky fucking Ted. You know that?
I said I didn't want to do it, and you boys were like, no, go on, do it. You forced me into it.
No, you've been cocky all the way through the whole bloody show.
No, I haven't. I've ceded that a lot of Greg's picks were very good.
You won.
I'm still going with Big E is the worst pick that we've seen on Recast.
Nope.
I agree with
Absolutely.
You,
nope.
Well, you can't say anything. Andy Samberg was a terrible pick as well. But
that was a good one.
So, Big E was the worst pick. That's as bad a pick as the Brock Lesnar one for Bane.
No, the Brock Lesnar one for Bane was a brilliant pick.
He's not an actor, lads.
Neither is the guy who plays Bane. He doesn't say anything. He's just a big unit going around battering people.
Oh, Tom Hardy?
No,
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin's Bane. Yeah, he's just a big unit who goes around battering people. That's Brock Lesnar.
So, next week, it'll be me against Ted. Greg, you will be the judge. King, you'll be taking the week out.
Yay! Don't go sick this week.
I'll do my best. Ted, we have a fun one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking us back to the 90s.
It is 90s.
It is 90s.
It is 90s, yeah.
Yeah. I did kind of say it previously. It's an action flick.
Okay, I like 90s action.
Yeah.
It's not as good as 80s action for the cheese, but...
we definitely have cheese in this movie. I hope you have your 3 seashells, lads.
Yes! Yes!
Okay. Yeah.
It's Demolition Man, baby.
Everyone says Blade is Wesley Snipes' best role. I think this is his best role.
That's hard to argue.
As Simon Phoenix, he's fucking phenomenal.
I think just for
Blade,
Blade.
Blade.
He's the lead in Blade as well, so that probably edges it for me. But
he steals the show in this. Yeah, Blade is probably his best leading role. This would be his best.
Yeah, Blade is his best. This is probably
the best supporting role.
Second, though. This is a very close second, though. Demolition Man, yeah, I'm up for that.
Here we go.
Have fun with that, boys. I will watch that with great enthusiasm, I must say.
It's just a phenomenal movie.
Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. Let us know in the comments if we got the picks right. Did I get?
I'm gonna put this in here.
Big E
direct
right?
all the Big E hate at Carl Sherlock. Absolutely,
all the Big E love. All the Big E love.
There is no Big E love.
There is. Big E's amazing, lads.
You do realize we have to tag Big E and the New Day in this now. We just have to in this video.
Not with these two idiots shit talking him.
It's okay.
He's shit talk him to his face.
Yeah, he's across the Atlantic. It's fine. Don't worry.
Anyway, make sure you follow all the lads on their respective social medias, and we'll catch you next week for Demolition Man.
Look.
Shalom.